welcome to my show. No, okay, the wrong intro. What's going on, guys? Abrasus here. So, some of you might have seen that we have a new way of gaming in the 9th age for the PCs, for the Windows 10 in particular. If some of you still haven't seen the trailer will be linked in the description, and we can wait for you to do it. So please do now before you watch this video. Have you watched it? Good. Okay, so I already managed to play a game yesterday with it. I just want to show you some screens from the game, some first impressions, just share something. And then tomorrow, on Saturday, we will see a game hopefully played live there on my live stream on Twitch. So hopefully we'll see you there, probably somewhere in the evening for the Europe, so around let's say 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. Although I will talk to my opponent, who is probably the best player in Czech Republic now, and we'll see what we can figure out. Anyways, up to the screens of the game. So as some of you might have noticed, this game is 3D. It also has an option to put the camera on top, so it can be also played as 2D. Also, the terrains are 3D, so much better than in reality now. But in general, you can also switch the terrains to flat terrains to make it easier. Maybe for your computer, maybe just for yourself. This game is not very computationally heavy, I think. I think my laptop is the only laptop that actually has issues with it. But this is because due to my heating issues. So I have to play on my PC downstairs. But in general, I haven't heard much problems otherwise. So I don't think you should be worried about how heavy it is. As you already can see, there are a few features that are excellent, that really help. We are playing here on a random map because we wanted to test the random tester from the main rulebook. Well, it took quite a while to find a good map, or at least not very crappy one. Just the generator from the rulebook is to blame. So we have a map here. We preloaded the map. It randomly generated for ourselves, but the more important feature is that all the normal maps are just preloaded here. So you can just load the map together with the deployment, or you can load the map, load the deployment, randomize scenario. You have very nice tokens for scenarios. Very, very cool features for the setup of the battlefield. Much quicker than you could expect. Okay, so proceeding to armies, the lists will be in the description, but just a quick look at them. I have 14 flyers, 5 plus 4 plus 3 Pegasi, and 2 Hippogriffs, and then some core realms, the Master of Divination, 2 fives of Yeoman, and you can see the difference in quality between armies. And this is not permanent. The game is in alpha, so, well, what do you expect? The Kingdom of Equitaine is one of the 3 armies that have finished the models for them. And then there is the other army, Infernal Dwarfs, who don't have finished models. So basically, I think when the game goes into more stable stage, all the armies will look like Kingdom of Equitaine. So that's great. So on the other hand, for now, just for the purpose of testing, you have models available for all armies, and you have them a bit more basic, I would say. Anyways, what is a very cool feature also is that you can import your lists directly from New Recruit. I haven't managed to test it out because I was stupid and I thought that it is not yet implemented, but someone told me that yes, it is. So you can just click and it imports your list from New Recruit together with all the statistics, with all the rules. Normally this will pop up on the right side of your screen when you click on the unit. It will show all the statistics for the unit, which is great. And I obviously, when I was playing, I obviously forgot about it, and I was still checking things in the books as an idiot. But those are just things that you need to get used to. Okay, back to the battle. We have Infernal Dwarfs on the other side. There are some slaves. There are some goblins. There are some Lugars, there are some Immortals, there are some warriors with the Blunderbuss Tower, there are some war machines, and there is the mage on the chariot. And there are like 2 mages on foot and the BSB on foot. So a pretty defensive list, and yeah, I was like, okay, should I drop all and should I just forget about praying, like be this godless Britannia bastard And yeah, that's what I went with. I said, okay, he has some hits with strength 5, but whatever. Obviously, all the worst is I failed against strength 5 hits were 5, so I was punished for this very heavily. But yeah, so I just went like this, and I said, okay, I will Vanguard up, I will chaff you in the first round, and then I will charge you in the second round. So we'll see how this goes. That's a very complicated plan for me. And yeah, here you can see that there are many features that you already know from UB. Obviously the line of sight and measurement tape features, which maybe, hopefully, will come in the sense that you can click on more than one unit. And now, well, I wanted to see whether the hobgoblins can overrun into the Pegasi, and if I could click on the two units, I could at the same time check whether the chariot can see the Pegasi. For now, I cannot do it, but possibly this is something that will come in the future. So that's great. Also, like, look at the amount of angles that you can have here. And here we have a situation after the first round. The Infernal Dwarves deployed in the corner. I deployed, as I've already shown, and then I pushed forward. I lost some Pegasi on the first round due to shooting. Yeah, and then I was just ready to charge. So on the second round, I think all my flying units charged, as per usual, I could suspect. So this is the perspective from the other side. What I really love is the perspective from the other side, because now I can look how the situation looks from the perspective of my opponent, which I really loved when I was playing, for example, chess. What I really don't like is what you can see here with the slaves. Yeah, there are some problems with the syncing, although we were just stupid, because there is, as you might see next to the battlefield button on the top left, there is the button that says sync. So yeah, so those models look okay for my opponent, and they form a normal unit for my opponent, but they don't form it for me. And the same goes for the tower ones. But I think since the game still is in alpha, then in the future versions, I think this will definitely not be a problem. Okay, what was kind of the problem in this position? My yeoman managed to fail the march check on 3 dice with leadership 9, so they couldn't chaff the chariot. And as you can see, the griffins parked here. One of the Pegasi sacrificed themselves, charging the immortals just so that the Hippogriff can get less attacks, and then the Hippogriffs on this side killed some Lugars. But the problem was that this chariot can charge my Hippogriff and probably push him, and that's not good. But of course, the very good player I am, my Hippogriff with like 9 attack strength 5 managed to kill this chariot on his charge because he failed like 5 out of 6 word saves. So yeah, that was a good job, job well done, and basically saved my battle saved me the battle. If I failed the leadership check there after he charged me, which would be like -4 leadership check probably, then yeah, the only hope that I have is just to keep the hold the ground scenario. And if I win this scenario, then maybe I can draw it. If I don't win this scenario, drew this scenario, it's like, yeah, you can transpose from there, right? So anyways, it went very smoothly for me. The fact that I stood there, very, very lucky. But this is a YOLO list, so I had to go YOLO, right? And this is the situation after the next turn, where, well, my Pegasi are still there, the Pegasi that killed the Lugars, but unfortunately the Lugars held a 6 break check, and then my Pegasi freed themselves for my opponent's turn, so they got shot, and they are obviously panicked, and they obviously didn't rally, so that's great, heavily recommended. Also, what is a nice feature that you can see in this picture is that the spells, the number on spells and the number on fluxes, they turn around as you turn the camera. So that I expected to be a problem, but it's not. So that's great. And anyways, I just charged those hobgoblins. My realms helped break the immortals, and in the end, this is I think the last picture that I took from the game, because I was more focused on trying to understand the experience, then I was focused on really playing the game and really making those pictures. So yeah, in the end, I think since this was like turn 4, I finally managed to kill all of those hobgoblins. I finally managed to put my griffins into the big tower, and yeah, I lost 2 units of Pegasi. I lost some realms. I lost my mage, my mage that is bravely standing there, but the tower shooting is just awful. Just wow, that's really strong. I think that I was kind of skeptical of how a tower works after they changed it from the first update, where it was like super crazy. When I remember, I was just taking the miniatures from my opponents like one by one, like unit by unit, basically. I played one game, I think, with the first version of the tower, and I killed like 100 rats with it. So that was a good tower. But anyways, here it still feels really strong, and it's not that expensive. So I don't know. I think I would recommend trying it out in the Infernal Dwarfs list. This was definitely the most annoying piece of my opponent's list that I didn't really see a good way to deal with. Well, in the end, it just happened that because I was a bit lucky, I managed to kill everything around it, and I managed to finally charge it from every side. So his BSB survived, and his rocket battery survived, and that was basically it. So because of the scenario, it would end up as a major win for me. Okay, so some final remarks. This video is not super long because I just played the game yesterday and I didn't have that much time to record it. Let's start with the bad things, because I think there are a few that I want to mention. Yeah, this is version alpha, so there are quite a few bugs. We had problems with syncing, but we didn't notice the sync button. So probably this is the biggest issue that I had so far. It's a major issue, and hopefully it will be fixed in the future. Like especially there were some problems with models, with heroes that were leaving the units and so on. They were not really syncing properly, but maybe the sync button fixes it automatically, and we will see this tomorrow. Other than that, I think there are some problems with the movement, some slight problems with the movement, with measuring. Well, mainly with measuring. I think movement is not a problem, but measuring just feels a bit odd. But maybe this is because I'm so used to the UB measuring, so maybe that's why. I think there are many things that get used to. Also, what is really cool, so I can say it both as a plus and a minus, is that if you see those units, if you remove the models, you just click a button, plus or minus button, and it adds or removes models. That's super cool, because it also adds or removes ranks. So then the reforms are easier, because you also have a button that says reform that just changes the number of columns that you have in the unit, and you basically reform like this. On UB, it's tragic. You have to keep the center. Here it is like this. The problems? They sometimes don't work. Sometimes they are a bit off. Sometimes the ranks, there are too many ranks left. And especially if you try to move the models within the unit, like you move the champion in the Pegasi and then you remove the models, then it gets super crazy. Or if you want to remove the model from the other side of the unit, then also it can get a bit crazy. Like not crazy in the sense that, oh, it crashes, it burns and such, but it just stops working as intended. So you just kind of need to switch back to the manual side, which is, well, it's not terrible. But when you have such features, you expect them to work. But again, this is alpha. What am I expecting? Anyways, from the goods, I think that this is absolutely gorgeous, and it felt like playing the normal game. It didn't feel anymore for me like playing a UB game where, yeah, it just felt like playing a normal game. And that just showed me how much I crave playing the normal games back. It's just terrible to not be able to play normal games, and this is definitely the way. And I think that judging by how responsive the guy is, how helpful he is, I'm pretty sure that the issues that I have so far with the game will be fixed very easily. Like the thing that many people requested is marking the models. The marking of the units is not yet available, but supposedly it will either come as mark the unit button or mark the army button, which would be also great. So there is that. Also, the undo button works. On UB, undo button doesn't work for me. Here, the undo button works. Although I would be pretty annoyed if I have to undo like 50 times to get back to my starting position, and maybe I undo too much sometimes. So You just have to be careful. Like for example, if you remove some models in between and then you undo, then it's easy to miss that that some models start popping back in the game. So except for those minor bugs that are, I think, pretty common in the alpha versions, I'm super impressed with the game. And if possible, I will try to play all my league games here. I will try to play all my training games here, and yeah, and hopefully this will push forward, and hopefully this will work, because I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. And yeah, if you want to try it out for yourself, I think you have to try to volunteer for the alpha version. I will also try to find the link try to put the link in the description to the signups for the alpha version. I got the privilege of getting signed up early, and I have some codes. I might have, if my league opponents will be willing to, then I will be more than willing to share the codes for them. I have 2 league games left, so definitely more than happy to play them here. And then yeah, I will have 1 code left. Maybe I will make some contest. What do you guys think? Should I make some contest? We'll see. We'll see who reacts to this question, who managed to reach this point in the video. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully see you tomorrow at Twitch. And if not, see you guys in the next video. Cheers.